If you want to be the designer of your world, not just the consumer of it, then give me 15 minutes of your undivided attention. Today, we're going to talk about how to make those changes that you've been visualizing actually stick. Let's do this. If this is your first time checking out our show, then welcome to the family. This is our third video in a visualization series. In video 1, I covered what visualization was, what's the science behind it, why does it actually work. Video 2, we covered how to use visualization according to science. And now here in video 3, I'm going to show you how to make those changes that you've been visualizing actually stick in your real life. We're getting practical and we're getting deep. So let's dive right in. Point number 1 are the 3 C's of psychology, which is create consistent cues. Now I want you to think back to your psychology classes. Do you remember hearing about something called Pavlov's dog? This is an experiment where the scientist, Pavlov, made multiple dogs drool simply by ringing a bell. Now, how did he go about doing this? Well, there were 3 stages. The first state is the natural state. We call it before conditioning. This is when he noticed that dogs would drool whenever they saw food. This got him thinking, can I make a dog drool on command? So he decided he wanted to test this, and he decided that he wanted dogs to drool whenever he would ring a bell. So he would ring a bell, and he noticed no dogs would drool. But whenever he brought food, he noticed they would drool. So that was the first state. That's before conditioning. The second state is called during conditioning. This is where he would give the dogs food and then ring the bell at the same time. Now the dogs see the food, they smell the food, they get excited and they start to drool, and then they hear Pavlov ringing that bell. And now after doing this a few times, the dogs learn to associate the ringing of the bell with the food. And this leads us right into our third state, which we call after conditioning. This is where Pavlov would ring the bell and not present any food, and the dogs would start to drool. No food is presented. There is no reason for them to actually get excited and drool. All you have is this ring of a bell. And yet, in the dog's mind, they have associated the ringing of that bell with them getting food, and so they start to drool in anticipation and because of this association. Now, what we want to do is Pavlov ourselves. We want to be able to connect a random outside event with an internal action. The reality is, we do this all of the time already. Have you ever walked into a restaurant and not been hungry, and all of a sudden you step through those doors and you smell the snake, you smell the snake. You get a whiff of maybe some home-cooked bread. Maybe you hear the sizzling of a steak on the grill. Your stomach starts to growl and you start to get hungry. I just realized I haven't eaten today, so I'm actually getting really hungry just talking about this. But what's happening is you're mentally associating hunger with the smell of these foods. Have you ever been absolutely stuffed and then someone came and they bring out chocolate cake? What happens? Of course you can have a slice. There's always room for dessert. Why is that? It's because we have associated that chocolate cake with our appetite. If there's chocolate cake around, we have an appetite, regardless of whether we're stuffed to the brim or not. We're already Pavloving ourselves every single day. It's just time to take control of it and do it consciously. That's super fascinating, but why does that work? Well, let me explain this to you. Our brains are incredibly lazy. They are always trying to make connections between 2 random things. The more connections our brains can make, then the less work it has to do. If it says whenever I experience this external stimuli, I will do this, then that means it doesn't have to think of when it's going to do this. It just waits until it experiences this stimuli. Like I said, this is happening all the time already. So what we're going to do is take care of this consciously. We're going to commit to a few cues. Whenever this cue happens, then we are going to visualize. What are cues? Well, a cue could be literally anything, but I like to break it down into one of 3 categories. We have objects, environments, and emotional states. Now, an object could literally be anything, right? It could be a sticky note. It could be a piece of artwork. It could be a vision board. It could be a notification on your laptop. It could be a work desk. It really doesn't matter. For me personally, I use this as an object cue. I've been using this specific cue for about a month. And now every time that I light the incense, I start to meditate. My body doesn't have to think about it. The process of lighting it and then the smell of the incense puts me in an instant meditative state because I have learned to associate the process of lighting it, the smell of the incense, and being in a calm meditative state. The second type of cue is the environment. This could be anywhere. We're talking your office, your car, your commute to work, your bathroom, your bedroom. It literally doesn't matter. If you pick an environment cue, then commit that every single time you enter that specific environment, you will start your visualization. Now, the third category is emotional states. An emotional state cue is that you commit to doing or saying a certain thing whenever you are in a specific emotional state. This could be happiness, this could be excitement, this could be sadness, could be anger, could be loneliness. Whatever that emotional state that you decide, when you are in that state, then you commit to making that change. For me, I wanted to stop swearing. So whenever I hurt myself, whenever I felt pain, I started to say, fun. Now you can imagine the weird looks I've gotten when I stub my toe at the office and just yell, fun. But I stopped swearing, and that's because I've associated the word fun instead of its alternative to a painful event. Point number 2 is called habit stacking. Recently, I went to TJ Maxx. Now, I love window shopping, so I didn't plan on buying anything. As I'm walking through this store, all of a sudden, I saw these Calvin Klein bamboo boxers that I was like, I need those. And they were on sale. So I was like, just one, that's fine. It's not too bad. And I'm walking around, and then all of a sudden, I see there's this foam mat. And I'm like, I could really use a foam mat. So then I end up buying this. And before you know it, I ended up walking out of TJ Maxx, spending $50 on things that I didn't need. Now, what happened? I walked in there with a very clear intention to not spend a penny. And then I walked out, $50 shy, arms full of things that I don't need. That's because of a principle we like to call the Diddero effect, which says that you often decide what you're about to do next based on what you just did. Now, for me, this means that once I made that decision that I was going to buy those Calvin Klein bamboo boxers, then I had already decided I was going to spend money. So I might as well get that yoga mat. I might as well get the next thing. So what we want to do is take control of our life using the Diddero effect. There's this great quote from the book Atomic Habits, and it says, if you want to make a habit part of your life, make the cues part of your environment. So what this means is that you need to commit to doing your new habit after a current habit that you already have in place. So after I'm done this current habit, like brushing your teeth or going for a run or eating lunch or driving in your car, then I will do this new habit. What you're doing is you're stacking this new habit on top of your old habit. Now, the action steps for this part is to look at your life and see what kind of routines do you already have. Do you have morning routines where you get up and you brush your teeth, you go into the shower, you make yourself some coffee, you make yourself breakfast, you get in the car, you drive to work? What are the morning routines, morning habits that you already have that you can stack your new habit on top of? What kind of evening habits or routines do you have that you could stack your new habit or routine right on top of? Maybe you have habits or routines that you use all throughout the day. We're talking lunch, we're talking going to the bathroom, driving to the gym, driving to work, driving home. Anything can be a habit or a routine if it is repeated enough. So your homework is to go through and look at your life. Take a few days and look at everything that you do every single day and say, is this a routine? Is this a habit? And can I stick my new habit, this new change I want in my life? Can I stack that on top of my current habit? Thank you so much for watching. If you are looking to make lasting change in your life, then you just learned the only tools that you will need. We're talking the 3 C's of psychology and habit stacking. If you got any value from this at all, hit that like button and throw me a comment. Let me know so that I can make more videos just like this. I will be right here next week to help you unleash your potential. Until then, grow yourself and grow your business.